Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into a tricky but important part of English grammar, gerunds versus infinitives. What is the difference? When should you use one over the other? And what common mistakes should be avoided? Let's clear it all up in just a few minutes. Let's get started. Gerund infinitive. Gerund is a verb which ends in ing and is used as a noun. A gerund is a verb which ends in ing and is used as a noun. Example, running. Run is a verb and it becomes gerund when ing is added to it. Running. Infinitive. An infinitive is a verb which is preceded by to and is used as a verb. The infinitive to run. Kindly watch my infinitive video which I made already. What are the differences between gerund and infinitive? We use a gerund as a noun while an infinitive is used as a verb. So the key difference between gerund and infinitive, we use a gerund as a noun while an infinitive is used as a verb. Example, the gerund running can be used as a noun, while the infinitive to run is used as a verb. Other differences include how they are used in a sentence and how they are formed. So other differences include how they are used in sentences, how we are using gerund and infinitive in our sentences, and how they are formed. Examples are for gerund, she loves swimming. Swimming is a gerund. I like reading books. Reading is a gerund. Infinitive, I need to go shopping. To go, infinitive. Second example is, he helped me understand the lesson. So in this case, there is no use of to because helped is bare infinitive. So he helped me understand the lesson. So kindly watch my video, full infinitive and bare infinitive. So you will understand that few verbs do not take to. They are used, we are using it without infinitive, that is not taking to, with infinitive without to. Gerund versus infinitive. Ing form of a verb used as a noun. Swimming is fun. Swimming here is used as a noun. Infinitive base is a base form of a verb. V1 form of a verb with to it in front of it. To swim is fun. So in this case, it acts as a subject. To swim is fun. There are few lists of infinitive and gerunds. Examples are to die, to lie, to dig, to beg, to give, to take. Gerund examples are dying when we are using ing as a suffix, dying, lying, digging, begging, giving, taking. So these are examples of gerund. Gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds is formed by adding ing to a noun. To a noun, when we are adding any verbs by adding ing, it becomes a noun. Example, researching helps get a command of the topic. Researching here is gerund by adding ing to a noun researcher. Second example is his favorite activity is reading. So reading is gerund. They like playing. Playing is gerund. About infinitives, an infinitive is the base form of the verb. Examples, to give is important, to forgive is important, to forgive is infinitive. The most beneficial thing is to research. To research is infinitive. He wants to rest is infinitive. So these are the basic differences between the gerunds and infinitives. First of all, we need to learn what are gerunds and infinitives. These are verbs, these are verb forms that don't act like regular verbs in sentences. So regular verbs and irregular verbs, I also made the video. So kindly watch that also, that you are able to understand what is meaning of regular verb. So these are verbs forms that don't act like regular verbs in sentences. They often take on roles as noun, adjectives, or adverbs. So they do not act like regular verbs in your sentences. In sentences, they usually take on roles as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. So gerunds are verbs that end in ing example, running, swimming, playing, etc. They function as nouns and are used to indicate an action or an activity. So gerunds are verbs that end in ing. They function as they function as nouns and they are used to indicate an action or an activity. So gerunds are used to indicate an action or an activity, some action or some activity. So example sentences are, I love swimming in the ocean. So this sentence express enjoyment of an activity using the gerund. Here gerund is swimming. And what is the object? Object is object of love. So it's showing one activity, that enjoyment of an activity using the gerund swimming and as the object of love. Second example is, I enjoy reading at night. So in this sentence, it shows a preference for an activity using the gerund reading as the object of enjoy. So it is these two sentences are used to indicate an action or an activity. Gerunds can be used in many ways. The ways are, as the subject, gerund can be used as a subject. It can be used after preposition, after certain verbs. As a subject in sentences like singing makes me happy. So singing is the subject here. Singing makes me happy. When we are using gerund at the beginning of the sentence, it act as a subject. So in sentence like singing makes me happy, singing is the subject. We started the sentence with gerund. Second example is after preposition. Many times gerunds are used after prepositions such as at, on, in, etc. For instance, for example, I am good at swimming. So here swimming is gerund. Swim plus ing. So it is in this sentence, gerund is used after preposition at. Gerund can be used after certain verbs, few specific verbs, not after all verbs, after specific verbs, after certain verbs. These verbs are commonly followed by gerunds like enjoy, dislike, avoid, enjoy, dislike, and avoids. For example, she enjoys reading. So in this case, enjoy verb is followed by gerund reading. In about infinitives, these are the base form of a verb. Example, to run, to swim. 2 plus base form of verb, 2 plus V1. In English, when we use the word to place between two verbs, main verbs, to plus base verb, the first verb is often the base verb, the most base verb of the verb. This combination is called in infinitive. To walk, to eat, to sing. So in this case, when we start when we use it at the beginning of the sentence, the infinitive can act as nouns, but they can be used in various ways. So when we use infinitives at the beginning of the sentence, it can act as nouns, but we can use infinitives in different ways. Infinitives are used in many, in a variety of situations, in many situations, including we use infinitive to express purpose, reason. Infinitives can be used after modal verbs, and infinitive can used with adjectives. These are the uses of infinitives. How do we use our infinitive in our sentences, in our daily life also? So infinitives to express purpose, it is used after modal verbs and it is used with adjectives. To express purpose means to explain why you are doing something. What is the reason behind this? Why you are doing something. For example, I am studying English to communicate better. So this sentence is indicating the reason why you were studying English. So in this case, I am studying English to communicate better. To communicate is infinitive. This communicate is expressing purpose. Second is use is after modal verbs. Infinitives are used after modal verbs, can, could, shall, should, must, etc. Followed by infinitives. I can swim. So in this case, swim is infinitive, can is infinitive, and swim is verb. So in this case, can is modal verb, and swim is bare infinitives. Can is modal verb, and then afterward there is a use of infinitive, and that infinitive is bare infinitives. It is not taking to. So I can swim. So when we use infinitives along with the modal verbs, we do not use to, and it becomes bare infinitives. Second infinitives are used. I have made the video. Kindly watch the video so you can understand the differences between the full infinitive and bare infinitives. So can is modal verb and swim is bare infinitives. So infinitive are used after modal verbs. Infinitives are also used. The third use is along with the adjectives. Sometimes you will find adjectives followed by infinitives, as in she is happy to help. Happy is adjective and to help is infinitives. About gerunds, we use gerunds by adding ing to the second verb. This is known as gerund, to the verb, adding ing to the verb, which is known as a gerund. A gerund is a verb that acts as a noun. For example, when we are using at the beginning of sentence, walking, eating, singing. Now, when to use two infinitives means full infinitives. Full infinitives are used for in the following ways: to express purpose, after many adjectives, after two and enough, after specific verbs. So to express purpose, we have seen in the previous slide also. Example is given here also. I went to Birmingham to see the canals. So to see is here giving the purpose. To see is to express purpose. To two infinitives. Second example is given. I studied hard as I wanted to get a good grade. To get is two infinitives, full infinitives. It is expressing purpose. To get a good grade. So he studied hard. I studied hard as I wanted to get a good grade. So to get is two infinitives, full infinitives. Second use of full infinitives, that is full infinitive is also known as two infinitives. So it is also used after many adjectives. Example sentences. My son finds it hard to get up in the morning. So here in this case, to get up is two infinitive, two infinitive, and hard is adjectives. To get up is full infinitive and hard is adjectives. So it is used after adjectives. Second sentence is given. It was great to talk to you yesterday. So great is adjective, and then after we are using full infinitive, two infinitives to talk. Then the third use of full infinitive is after to and enough. After TOO, to and enough. The point should be noted. The third use, the most important, you have to just keep it in your minds and use in your daily life, in your sentences. We used two infinitives, full infinitives after TOO, to and enough. For these different types of adverbs, I'm going to make videos separately. Example is given, my brother's clothes are big enough to fit me. Enough is adverb and to fit two infinitives. Other is, I am too full to eat anymore. So after two, TOO, we are using two, TO2 each. So here it is not act as a preposition, it is a full infinitives. Then fourth use is after specific verbs such as agree, appear, ask, enable, help, plan, refuse, say, teach, etc. So you have to memorize it, how to memorize it, to use it in your daily life, to practice it, these verbs along with the sentences, then it is easy to understand and easy to use it. Example sentences, I agree to meet you at 5 p.m. So agree is verb, and after this we are using full infinitive to meet. Next sentence is they plan to work all weekend. So plan, verb and to work. Next sentence is she will refuse to see you, or so refuse is verb and then it's a full infinitive. Next example is he taught her to speak English. Taught, verb, to speak, full infinitive. So these are the uses of full infinitives to express purpose after many adjectives, after adverbs, TOO and enough, after specific verbs such as agree, appear, ask, enable, and then few specific verbs, not all verbs. Now, when to use bare infinitives? Bare infinitive means infinitives without to. Example, after the verbs let and make, after the verbs let and make, these are infinitives. When in these infinitives, we are not using TO2. Let me tell you the reason, or her mom made her do her homework before bed. So let me tell you the reason. Let me tell you the reason. So here, let or tell, let is here bare infinitives. Her mom made her do her homework before bed. So, made, after this verb, made do her homework. So, do, it is a bare infinitive. First example is given. Let me tell you the reason. So, let is a verb. In this, we are not using. If you say, let me to tell you the reason, it is a wrong. Because in this case, we will use bare infinitive. Along with the let and make, we have to use bare infinitives. No use of to. So, let verb me. Let me tell. Tell. That is a bare infinitive. Same like that, other sentences example is given. Her mom made her do her homework before bed. So after made or make, made is a past form of make. So made her do her homework. Do is bare infinitive. Second use of bare infinitives are after modal verbs. We could go to the cinema tonight. So could is modal verb and go is bare infinitive. Next example is given. I can try again tomorrow. I can try again tomorrow. Can is modal verb and try is bare infinitive. Third example is we might go on holiday next week. Might is modal verb and go is bare infinitive. So we do not use to infinitive after modal verbs. We do not use two infinitives after few verbs like let and make. So whenever you are framing sentences, take care of these. Now we do not use full infinitive, that is true infinitive, after verbs of perception. Feel, hear, notice, see, sense, watch. These are all the verbs are associated with your sensory organ. So it's these verbs of perception are always associated with bare infinitives. We always use with bare infinitives. I saw him look at the money. So saw is verb of perception. So look, bare infinitives. I saw him to look at the money. This sentence will be, if you are framing this like that, I saw him to look at the money. So it is incorrect sentence, wrong. Verbs of perception do not carry two infinitives. It always use with bare infinitives, infinitive without two. Second example is given, I felt her touch me. Felt is verb of perception past tense. Touch is bare infinitive. Third example is I noticed them run away. So noticed is bare infinitive and noticed is verb of perception and run is bare infinitive. Noticed is verb of perception and run is bare infinitive. We can also use the gerund running if the action is in progress at that moment. So if we use gerund, it means the running. If we are using that, I notice them, he is running away. So in this case, this is the action is in progress. After now about the use of bare infinitives, we use bare infinitives after expression with relative pronoun why. With relative pronoun why. Why not go tomorrow? So why is relative pronoun and go is bare infinitive. Why stay at home? Why relative pronoun and stay is bare infinitives. Go, stay. So with whenever you are using why as in your questioning and using in your interrogation, so in this case two is not allowed, two is not used. You have to use bare infinitives. Now about the use of bare infinitives after the verb help. After the verb help, let, we have learned after the verbs let and make, there is no use of two infinitive. You always use bare infinitive, same like that. Verb help, after the verb help, it can use either a two infinitive or a bare infinitive. So points should be noted. Verb help, it can use both infinitive, either a two full infinitive, that is two infinitive, or a bare infinitives. Look at the example. They helped me finish the project on time. So they help me finish. You can speak this also and you can speak like this also. They help me to finish the project on time. They both are correct sentence. Sixth example is the book helped me to understand English better. The book helped me to understand English better. You can either speak like this. The book helped me to understand English better. So these sentences are correct. Help can be used with both full infinitive or a bare infinitive. They help me finish the project on time, correct. They help me to finish the project on time, correct. The book helped me to understand English better, correct. The book helped me understand English better, correct. When to use the gerund? Gerund means verb plus ing. Suffix form is ing. Gerunds are used after preposition. Gerunds are used as the subject of a sentence after certain verbs. After preposition, how about giving me the opportunity to try? Example is, how about giving me the opportunity to try? So about is preposition and giving is gerund. Second example is, I train by lifting weights. I train by lifting weights. To train, by is preposition, lifting is gerund. Third example is, I am good at reading Spanish, but not so good at speaking. So at reading, at speaking, at is preposition in both the case. Now, gerunds are used as the subject of a sentence. As the subject of a sentence, when we are using gerund at the beginning of a sentence, it acts as the subject of a sentence. Eating fruit is good for you. Eating is act as the subject of a sentence. Reading British newspaper will help you to learn English. So reading here is a subject of a sentence because we are using gerund as at the beginning of a sentence. Walking is good exercise. So walking, gerund, which is act here as the subject of a sentence. Now, gerund is used after certain verbs: admit, advise, allow, consider, delay, enjoy, involve, keep, permit, report, etc. So in this way, you have to use it in your daily lives. Gradually, you will memorize all these words. So gerunds are used after certain verbs. Don't keep me waiting. Keep, then me waiting. Me is object, waiting is gerund. So keep, we are using along with certain verbs. The verbs keep, it carries gerund. The children enjoyed playing together. Enjoyed, verb, playing, gerund. The company advised holding on to the shares. The company advises holding on to the shares. Holding, gerund. Advises, verb, present form. Success involves working hard. So involves, verbs, working, gerund. So these are the few verbs which use along with the gerunds. So verbs followed by an infinitives. These are the list of few words which are used along with an infinitives. Example is given. C agreed to speak before the game. So agree is used along with an infinitive, means full infinitive. To speak is infinitive. So these are the list: agree, aim, appear, arrange, ask, attempt, be able, beg, begin, care, choose, condition, consent, continue, dare, decide, deserve, detest, dislike, expect, fail, forget, it, happen, have, hesitate, hope, hurry, intend, leave, like, long, love, mean, neglect, offer, ought, plan, prefer, prepare, proceed, promise, propose, refuse, remember, say, suit, start, stop, stripe, swear, threaten, try, use, wait, want, wish. So these are the list of verbs which are used, which are followed by an infinitives. Few verbs which are followed by an object and an infinitives always carry object also. Everyone expected her to be. Expected is verb, her, object, to win, infinitive. So these are the list of few verbs which are verbs are followed by an object and an infinitive. Some of these verbs are included in the list above, may be used without an object. In the list, a few verbs are given, verbs followed by an object and infinitives. In this list, few verbs may be used without an object. So verbs followed by an gerunds, they enjoyed working on the board. So enjoyed past form of verbs takes gerund. So here gerund is working. Gerund is working. So these are the list of verbs. You have to just frame sentences and use it. Admit, advise, appreciate, avoid, can't help, complete, consider, delay, deny, detest, dislike, enjoy, escape, excuse, finish, forbid, get through, have, imagine, mind, miss, permit, postpone, practice, quit, recall, report, resent, resist, resume, risk, spent, waste, suggest, tolerate. So these are the verbs followed by a gerunds. There are few verbs which are always followed by a preposition and a gerunds. Very important points should be noted. It always used by a preposition and a gerunds. Examples given. We concentrated on doing well. So on is preposition. Verb is concentrated and doing is gerund. On, preposition, concentrated verb, and doing gerund. So these are the few verbs: admit to, approve of, argue about, believe in, care about, complain about, concentrate on, confess to. So it is coming with preposition. Admit to is preposition, approve of, preposition, argue about, preposition, about, believe in, preposition, care about is preposition, complain about preposition, concentrate on preposition, confess to, depend on, disapprove of, discourage from, dream about, feel like, forget about, insist on, object to, plan on, prevent from, refrain from, succeed in, talk about, think about, worry about. So these are the verbs followed by preposition and a gerund. So the verbs for the following verbs which can be followed by either the infinitive or gerund. So these are the verbs, a list of the verbs are given with only a small change in meaning. If we use in our sentences as an infinitive or gerund, there is a very small change in its meaning. Examples are given: can't bear, can't stand, cease, continue, hate, like, love, neglect, prefer, propose. So these following verbs are followed either by, we can use along with the sentence with infinitive or gerunds. And there is a very little change in their meaning. Example, can't bear. He can't bear being ignored. We can use it being ignored. So here being is a gerund and we can use it in infinitive also. He can't bear to be ignored. So the meaning is almost same. To be is infinitive. Next example, can't stand. They can't stand watching sport. Watching gerund, and we can use along with the infinitive, we can use this sentence along with the infinitive. They can stand to watch sport. Second example is he ceased working on the project. Working gerund, again along with the infinitive, the sentence becomes he ceased to work on the project. A meaning is almost little bit changed or almost same, with verb continue, example is it continued raining for days. With infinitive sentence becomes it continued to rain for days. For verb hate, example is she hates ironing. Same, if you can use along with the infinitive, the meaning should be will be seen. She hates to iron. The meaning will be almost same. Like the child likes playing piano. With infinitive, we can frame the sentence, the child likes to play piano. With verb love, example is John loves playing football. With infinitive, we can frame this sentence, John loves to play football. So you can see the differences in the meaning is only small changes or almost same. Neglect, he neglected study. It is in the past tense. No, he neglects to study. It is in the present tense. To study infinitive, studying gerund. Prefer, John prefers reading. Gerund, with infinitive, John prefers to read. Meaning is almost same. Propose, I propose delaying the project. With infinitive sentence becomes I propose to delay the project. So although the differences are small, minute, the infinitive and gerund can't be used interchangeably. So kindly take care when you just frame the sentence and think which sentence, whether the sentence along with the gerund is proper or along with an infinitive is proper. Because the meaning there is a slight difference in meaning. Thus meanings will change sometimes. So we cannot use an infinitive and gerund. It cannot be used interchangeably. We cannot interchange it. So the infinitive suggests a future or potential activity, whereas the gerund suggests actual activity. The other difference about is the infinitive suggests about a future or potential activity, whereas the gerund suggests actual activities going on. The difference is subtle but real for native speakers when we are using. Therefore, for advanced speakers, gerunds and infinitives are never interchangeables. The points should be noted. For advanced speakers, gerunds and infinitives are never interchangeable. Example sentences: John likes playing piano suggests that John likes the activity of playing piano. Second example, John likes to play the piano suggests that John likes the potential or possible activity of the piano. So the meaning is little bit different. Other differences, the understanding when to use infinitive and gerunds can be a bit tricky. We have seen many examples in the previous slide also. But here is a general rule of thumb. The difference between an infinitive and gerunds, we have to understand when to use infinitive and gerunds. It can be a bit tricky. So here is a general rule of thumb. What is the rule of thumb? Use infinitives when you want to show the purpose of an action or after modal verbs. Is that clear? No need to confuse when to use an infinitive or when to use gerund in your sentences. Use infinitives when you want to show the purpose of an action, to show the reason of an action, or use after modal verbs. Use infinitives. Next about gerunds. Use gerunds when the verb is acting as a noun or after preposition and after certain verbs. The list I have given in the previous slides. So use gerunds when the verb is acting as a noun or after preposition and after certain verbs. Let's compare. Let's look at the example. I want to swim. Infinitive. It is expressing a desire, a purpose, a action. I enjoy swimming. Next example is swimming is gerund. You are talking about an activity you like. So it is a difference. First sentence is showing, expressing a desire or a purpose. I want to swim. I enjoy swimming means you are talking about an activity which you like. So there are differences between an infinitive and gerunds. Verbs, there are few verbs which are followed by an infinitive or gerund with a change in meaning. When you're using few verbs, when you're using along with the infinitive and when we are using along with the gerund, there is a change in their meaning. There are few verbs. Just look at there. These verbs are followed by either an infinitive or a gerund, but with a major change in meaning. There is a change in meaning. Meaning is change. For example, I forgot to watch the match on TV. I forgot to watch the match on TV. To watch infinitive we are using means I missed the match because I forgot it was on TV. I missed the match because I forgot it was on TV. Second example is I forgot watching the match on TV. Watching here is gerund. So it means I have no memory of watching the match, although I did watch it. There is no memory of watching the match, although I did watch it. So there is a difference because the same verb watch, both the sentences, the meaning are different. What are the verbs which include the following? If we used as an infinitive or used as gerund, the meaning is completely changed. The words are forget, quite, regret, remember, stop and try. Whenever using these verbs along with an infinitive or along with gerunds, the meaning of sentence, there is a major change in its meaning. I remember visiting my mother. Visiting here used as gerund. Means I have a memory of my visit to my mother. I have a memory of my visit to my mother. Next sentence, if we are using visit along with the visit as an infinitive, with infinitive, I remember to visit my mother. I remember to visit my mother. It means I never forget that I have to visit my mother. So the meaning is totally changed. So these are the few verbs when we are using as an infinitive and gerunds, the sentence, the meaning of sentence, there is a major change in its meaning. Words are forget, quite, regret, remember, stop and try. The gerund is used as the subject of a sentence in everyday usual English like this. Example, I said you when we use gerund at the beginning of the sentence, it acts as a subject of a sentence. Example is studying English every day is the best way to improve. So studying here is as the subject of a sentence. Second example is exercising is important for staying healthy. So exercising is subject of a sentence. Waiting for a bus on a hot day is pretty uncomfortable. So waiting is a subject of a sentence. Second difference between the infinitive. Infinitive is used as a subject of a sentence when you are talking about abstract or philosophical ideas. Which abstract idea, philosophical ideas, to be or not to be. That is the question Shakespeare was speaking philosophically, which is not related with the true reality. So it's talking about when the infinitive is also used as a subject of a sentence when we you are talking about abstract idea or philosophical ideas, to be or not to be. To love mother and to love another person would be out of the question. So here also abstract and philosophical ideas. To spend time in the garden is relaxing for mind and the body. So it is also philosophical idea. So unless you want to sound like a philosopher or Shakespeare, it is best to use the gerund as the subject of a sentence. Is that clear? When you want to express any philosopher or you want to use to sound like a philosopher or Shakespeare, it is best to use the gerund instead of infinitive. Compare this, working hard is the best way to advance in the company. So this sounds like natural English. Use gerund. If you speak to work hard is the best way to advance in the company, it is not realistic. It is unnatural and sounds too philosophical. So you have to use in the place, you have to use gerund. Working hard is the best way to advance in the company. You have to use the gerund as the subject of a sentence. Keep in mind the best way to remember this or any vocabulary in English is to take the word or phrase with write in a sentence that is true for you or true in your world and then memorize your sentences. So practice it, and whenever you want to sound like a philosopher or Shakespeare, it is best way to use the gerund as the subject of a sentence. No need to use the news and infinitive. So examples of gerunds are given. Gardening is an art, cooking is a science. I enjoy reading poems. He entered the shop for buying books. So these are I like reading more than writing. Reading more than writing. Dying is better than surrendering. The duck was excellent in swimming. She likes swimming. So these gardening, cooking, reading, buying, reading, writing, dying, surrendering, swimming. These are all verb plus ing gerunds. So gerunds is formed by adding ing to a noun. We have seen many examples. So noun gerunds, noun are read, write. So gerund is reading, learning, writing, verb plus ing. And if we use to read, to learn, to write, it becomes a subject. So they can be used as a subject in a gerund can be used as a subject in a sentence, as an object in a sentence, and as the complement. So there are three uses of gerund: subject in a sentence, object in a sentence, as the complement. See, now next explanation of gerund and infinitive. So when the ing form of verb is used as a noun, it is known as a gerund. We have and a verbal noun. And it is also known as a verbal noun when it is used as a noun. Verbal noun. The fighting went on. The fighting went on. We saw that ing associated with the verb fight. So fight is used as a subject in it. The fighting went on. It does a work of a noun. The fighting went on. So fighting here, gerund work as a noun. I like swimming. I like swimming. So swimming is here is used as object of the verb. Gerund used as a subject, as a object, and then as the complement. So second example, I like swimming. In this case, swimming is used as object of the verb. Verb is like. It performs the function of a noun. So it is gerund, subject and object are either noun or pronoun. We can take subject or object, either noun or pronoun. Gerund can be used as subject, object, and complement. My hobby, next example is my hobby is gardening. Gardening is gerund because it is used as complement. That is noun. Third use of gerund. And fourth example is I enjoy reading stories. So reading is an object of the verb enjoy. So it performs the function of a noun. The word reading has its own object. Reading object is stories. What reading? Reading what? So it performs the function of verbs. So where it performs two functions, verb and noun. So it is called verbal noun. It is also derived from verb. Very important point to be noted. What is verbal noun? I enjoy example sentences. I enjoy reading stories. Here, reading is an object. And what is a verb? Verb is enjoy. So it function as so it perform the function of noun. The word reading has its own object. The object is stories. So it perform the function of verb. So here it perform two functions. Verb and noun. Stories, verb is reading. So it is called verbal noun. It is derived from verb. Verb is enjoy. Fifth example is I am fond of reading, of preposition, and used as an object of a preposition. I am fond of what? Reading. So here gerund used as an object of preposition. So infinitive versus gerunds, we have seen many examples. Only gerunds can be the object of preposition. We have seen the example in the previous slide also. I am thinking about going back to school. I am thinking about to go back to school. So going back to school is gerund. I am thinking about to go back to school is infinitive. So some transitive and detransitive words only use infinitives. The points should be noted. Some transitives and detransitive words only use infinitives. Transitive, detransitive verbs, I will upload the video. So these are the other example is given. I swear to tell the truth. I swear telling the truth. To tell infinitive, I swear telling the truth. Gerund. So gerunds and infinitives replace the noun in a sentence. Gerund and infinitives replace the noun in a sentence. ING form of verb, present participle, reading, writing. Infinitive is to plus base form of verb. V1, to read, to write. But the question arises here is whether to use a gerund or an infinitive. In our sentences, how to use and whether to use a gerund or an infinitive, this question may arise. This depends on the main verb. Examples, few verbs take take an infinitive and few verbs, specific verbs take gerunds. I hope to have you here by tomorrow. I hope to have you. So here in this case, to hope is using to have infinitive, hope verb. Now next example is I predict having the task completed by tomorrow. So predict verb is taking gerund, having the task completely by tomorrow. So these are the list of few verbs. We have to use it and memorize it in our daily life. Gerunds, you act as a subject of a sentence, as the complement of a subject, as an object of a sentence. We have seen in the previous slide also examples. Subject of a sentence, researching helps you get a command of the topic. So researching is subject. As a complement of a sentence, her favorite activity is reading. So reading is complement, as a gerund is a reading and act as the complement of a sentence. Object of a sentence, they like playing. So playing is object of a sentence, verb like. So using gerund, how to use gerund in negative sentences? This is done by adding not. In negative sentences, we have to use not to the sentence. The best example is given. The best specialty is not avoiding co-curricular activities. So is not avoiding. So before Gerund, we are using not to make negative sentences. About in infinitive, infinitives is the infinitive form of learn is to learn. We have seen the to plus it also act as a subject of the sentence, as a complement of a sentence, as the object of a sentence. Subject of the sentence, to forgive is important. To forgive, as I said you so many times, when we use infinitive at the beginning of a sentence, it becomes a subject. So to forgive is a subject of the sentence. Now, as the complement of a sentence, the most beneficial thing is to research. So it is a to research is complement of a sentence. Object of a sentence, he wants to rest. To rest, object of a sentence. Subject verb, and then wants is verb, and to rest is object of a sentence. So using in how to use infinitives in negative sentences, we have to use is not to settle. The most essential, I decided not to go. To not go, not. If we saying this, make the sentence, I decided to not go, it's wrong. You have to speak like that. I decided not to go. So before the infinitive, we have to use not. Next example is given. The most essential factor is not to settle for the rest. So before not, before infinitive, we have to use the not to make negative sentences. Used in the English language, we are using gerunds after some verbs, after preposition, as subject or object or complements, infinitives after some verbs, after most of the adjectives to represent the purpose. Where infinitives uses are after modal verbs, words like let, make, help, verbs of perception, expression beginning with while. So these are the uses you have to use in your daily life and memorize these how to use gerunds, full infinitives and bare infinitives. Common mistake how to avoid with gerunds and infinitives. See, once going to the party, so it's once want verb will not take gerund. You have to speak. She wants to go to the party. I enjoy to read. It's wrong because enjoy take gerund. Enjoy verb take gerund. So I enjoy reading is correct sentence. Next example is he decided going to the gym. It's wrong. Decide verb will take infinitive. So he decided to go to the gym. So you have to memorize a list of the verbs, which verbs will associated with or with use with gerunds or an infinitive. Gerunds in English, so after some verbs, after preposition, as subject or object. So these are the list of the verbs we are used as gerunds. Infinitives, uses of infinitives, to plus infinitives after some verbs, after most of the infinitives to represent the purpose. Where infinitives after modal verbs, words like let, make, and help, verbs of perception, expression beginning with why. So these are the list of few verbs which we are using in our sentences with infinitives. You have to just write down and use in your sentences. Gerund versus infinitives, we have seen many examples in the previous slides. Gerunds, verbs followed only by the gerunds. What are the verbs? Admit. Kindly keep in your minds and points should be noted. Admit, avoid, deny, finish. This word always comes used along with the gerunds. Admit, avoid, deny, finish. Admit, she admitted stealing the money. So here gerund. To stealing, it becomes wrong. So admit, avoid. He avoids talking to strangers. So avoid always take gerunds. Deny. They denied breaking the window. Breaking is gerund. So deny takes always gerunds. Deny verb. Finish. She finished reading the book. Finish always used with gerund. So she finished reading the book. Reading is gerund. About infinitives, verbs which are followed only by two infinitive. Full infinitives of verbs are agree, decide, expect, forget. Agree, decide, expect, forget. They agreed to meet at noon, to meet infinitive. Decide, she decided to take the job. So decide, use with an two infinitive. Expect, he expected to win the game. Forget, to lock the door. Don't forget to lock the door. So these are the verbs which always use with two infinitives. Verbs are, what are the verbs? Verbs are agree, decide, expect, forgets. Few verbs which only comes with gerunds: admit, avoid, deny, finish. Now there are few verbs that can be followed by the gerund or the full infinitive with no difference in meaning. Start, begin, continue. Start, begin, continue. We can use with the gerund or with full infinitive, and there is a no difference in the meaning in sentence. Start, begin, continue. Now, there are few verbs that can be followed by the gerund or full infinitive with a difference in meaning. If we are using this as with the gerund, or we are using with full infinitive, the sentence meaning is totally different. It will be different. And the verbs are stop, try, remember, forget. Stop, try, remember, forget. So infinitive versus gerunds after verbs. The verbs are gerunds is admit, advise, appreciate, deny, miss, mention, regret, start, consider, risk, postpone, mind. After preposition as subject and complements. Infinitives after verbs. After verb plus object complements. Implements after adjectives. After feelings, possibilities. So these are the infinitives versus gerunds how we are using. Infinitive versus gerunds after verbs. The verbs list are given after preposition as subject and complements. Infinitives, full infinitives after few verbs, a list of verbs are given. Then again after verbs plus object complements. Then after adjectives, feelings and possibilities, the verbs are given. Then again with verbs, stop, remember, forget, regret, and go on. With future action, previous action, future action, remember to receive your parcel from the shop. So we are using full infinitive for future action to receive. First remember, then receive. Then previous action, he remembers visiting his friend's farmhouse. So look at the meaning is totally changed. He remembers visiting his friend's farmhouse. So in this case, visiting is gerund. So remember is used both as a gerund and an infinitive. So these verbs stop, remember, forget, regret, go on. If we use as an infinitive and along with gerund, the meaning is totally different. Example is given. Remember to receive your parcel from the shop. So here to receive is infinitive and meaning first remember, then receive your parcel from the shop. Second, it is indicating future action. If we use visiting to receive as a gerund, he remembers visiting his friend's farmhouse. So remember, we are using along this verb is using along with the gerund visiting. So it becomes previous action. First remember, then visiting. So these are the verbs stop, remember, forget, regret, go on. When we use with an infinitive or gerunds, the meaning of sentences completely change. There are few verbs like, love, and hate. It shows occasional action. When used with infinitive, I really hate to talk to you, but she is waiting for you. Occasional action. Regular likes or dislikes, she likes painting. Regular likes and dislike, we are using gerund. She likes painting. She dislikes painting. So these are the verbs we can use like, love, and hate with occasional action or regular likes or dislikes. So infinitive versus gerund. Infinitives start with a to plus base form of verbs: to walk, to travel. And then about whereas gerund is a verb that terminates in ing, installing, journey, etc. Infinitive and gerunds can be used as a verb, subject, or target. Verbal come from verbs and can accept complements, subjects, and adverbs to create verbal sentences. Now about an infinitive phrase which is created using the infinitive and can be used as word, modifier or adjective. I'm uploading infinitive phrase video within few days. So infinitive phrase is created using the infinitive and can be used as word, modifier or adjective. A gerund phrase employs the verb ing form to act as a noun. Very important point about infinitive phrase. It is created using the infinitive and can be used as a word, modifier or adjective. But a gerund phrase, it uses the verbs, it employs the verb ing form to act as a noun. Now, when to use gerund versus infinitives? Gerunds are like action words. Gerunds means like action words. Gerunds means like action words in English grammars. They are used when you want to talk about an action. Gerunds we are using in our sentences when we want to talk about an action as a theme. So these are the few uses of gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds means verb plus ing and infinitive means to plus base verb. To plus base verb. So as the subject of a sentence, swimming is fun. So swimming is gerund as a subject. To swim is fun. To swim is infinitive. Subject. Less common. So if you use as a subject of a sentence, try to use as gerund. Swimming is fun. No need to say to swim is fun. So swimming is fun is correct one. After certain verbs, I enjoy reading books. Enjoy takes a gerund. I want to read a book. Want take this. Want verb take infinitives. After preposition, gerunds comes after preposition. He is good at paintings. Infinitives do not follow preposition. Points should be noted. Infinitives do not follow prepositions. Now, in compound nouns, running shoes are expensive. Running shoes are expensive. It is used as a compound noun. Infinitives not used in compound nouns. Very important point. It should be noted again. Infinitives is not used in compound nouns. Now, gerunds are used to express purpose, reason. Gerunds do not express purpose or purpose. Gerunds are not used to express purpose. Infinitives are used to express purpose. Points should be noted against. Infinitives are used to express purpose, reason. She studies to pass the test. If you cannot say like she studies passing the test, becomes wrong. So, if you are expressing purpose in your sentence, you use infinitive, full infinitive. Difference between gerund and infinitives. In an aspect, gerunds base form plus ing we know, and infinitive is to plus base verb. Running, swimming, reading, it becomes gerund. To run, to swim, to read, it becomes infinitives. Gerunds act as a noun, subject, object, or complements. Infinitive act as a noun, adjective, adverbs. Very important points. Gerund act as noun, subject, object, or complements. Infinitives act as nouns, adjectives, adverbs. Usage with verbs. Gerunds follow some verbs: enjoy, avoid, suggest, etc. And list I have given in the previous slide. Enjoy, avoid, suggest, etc. Infinitives follow some verbs: decide, want, promise. About preposition, gerund always follow preposition. Good at painting, like that. Infinitives do not follow preposition. Points should be noted. If you say good at to paint, it's wrong sentence. So like that, you can spot your errors in a sentence. Infinitive show purpose. Used to express purpose. She studies to pass the exam. But gerund cannot express purpose. Incorrect. She studies passing the exam is incorrect sentence. So verbs with both gerunds and infinitives, there are few verbs which are used as an infinitive or gerund in a sentence, and that changes the meaning. But it changes the meaning when we use few words in with gerunds and with an infinitive. So meaning of the sentence will change. Few common example are love, hate, start. Love, hate, start. I love to travel. So in this case, and I love traveling. This meaning is totally changed. I love to travel. I love the idea of traveling. I love traveling. I enjoy the experience of traveling. The meaning is changed. Now with begin, he began to work on the project. So he started but may not have continued. He began to work on the project. He started, meaning what is the meaning? He started but may not have continued. If we use with the gerund, he began working on the project. He started and continued working. Gerund shows continuity. The sentence meaning is change. Now, she forget to call her friend. So did not remember to make the call. It means she did not remember to make the call. If we use along with a gerund, she forgot calling her friends. So she doesn't remember making the call. So sentence meaning changes the meaning. So these are the few words: love, begin, hate, starts. When we use along with gerunds and with an infinitive, the meaning of the sentence will change. It changes the meaning. So these are the few verbs, common verbs, follows by infinitives. So the sentence verbs are given and the example sentences are given. Just you practice it, write down in your notebook, use in your daily life, how to use it. Same, there are common verbs which are following gerunds: admit, advise, appreciate, consider, delay, deny, enjoy, finish, amazing, mention, miss, postpone, recommend, regret, resist, start, suggest, involve, keep, avoid. So these are the common verbs following a gerund. Thus example sentences are given. Kindly practice it, use it in your daily life to improve your communication skills. Common verbs followed by indirect plus and infinitives. This example is given. Advise. She advised me to take the test early. Allow. They allowed the student to leave early. So these are the few verbs which are followed by taking object also. She advised me to take the test early. Means advise is a verb, me is object, to take is infinitive. So same like the few verbs are given which are taking object also before an infinite. They allowed the student to leave early. Allowed the student's object to leave infinitive. So like this, these are the list of verbs: advise, allow, ask, beg, cause, challenge, convince, dare, encourage, dare, expect, forbid, force, hire, instruct, invite, order, permit, pursue, remind to. Also, these are the common verbs followed by indirect direct object and an infinitive. Sentences are given. Practice it. These are the verbs followed by gerunds and infinitives. Verb plus gerunds. She admitted having made a mistake. So she admitted is verb which is taking. Having is gerund. So these are the list of words, and then verbs. These are the few list of the words with the verbs with infinitives. They choose to go to the which. So choose verb, take infinitive to go. So these are the few list of the verbs. You have to note down, practice it. So few tips to take care whenever we are using gerund or in preposition infinitive in our sentences. You always find a gerund after a preposition. When we are using a preposition in our sentences, we have to use a gerund. She is afraid of flying. So there is a preposition of. So here we cannot say she is afraid of to fly. Flying. So after preposition, gerund is coming. So of is a preposition and flying is a gerund. So we have to tips to remember that after preposition we are using gerunds. Tip 2 is when you are talking about an activity, you usually use a gerund. For example, I stopped smoking. So when you you can describe many activities by using go before a gerund. Go means an activity. So by using go before a gerunds, let's go shopping or we went skiing. So you have to use, when you are using talking about an activity, usually use a gerund. So these are the few examples that given. So along with the different uses of study, try to practice it. Which one is the correct here? It is your worksheet for you. So gerund is an English noun formed by a verb by adding ing. Infinitive is a basic form of a verb usually used with to except the model verbs like should, could, which used bare infinitives. and certain verbs like see and hear, etc. Let. Preposition, word or group of words that is used with a noun, a pronoun or noun phrase to show direction, location or time to introduce an object, and we have to use, when you are using preposition, we have to use gerund, not infinitive. So preposition along with the gerunds. Now it's turn in the comment sections, write one sentence, then uses a verb followed by a gerund and an infinitive. I will respond with feedback about your uses. Now only a gerund can follow these verbs. These are the list of verbs which can follow the gerund follow these verbs. So either a gerund or an infinitive can follow these verbs, and there is a no change in meanings. These words are advise, begin, continue, hate, intend, like, love, prefer, starts. So these are the verbs when we are using as gerunds or with an infinitive, there is no change in meaning. Advise always take the object. Advise, begin, continue, love, hate, intend, like, start, prefer. So this using as an infinitive or gerund, there is no changing meaning. Advise, begin, continue, love, hate, intend, like, prefer, start. Now, either a gerund or an infinitive can follow these verbs, but the meaning may change if we are using these verbs. Forget, remember, stop. As an infinitive or gerund, the meaning will change. Meaning will change. Forget, remember, stop. The meaning will change if we used as an infinitive or gerund. Forget, remember, stop. So infinitive follow these verbs, and a noun, a pronoun, in infinitive follow these verbs. So these are the list of verbs. So what are the frequently asked question about gerunds and infinitives? To be concluded, what is the infinitive form of a verb? To plus base form of verb. What is the difference between a gerund and infinitive? Gerund ing form act as a noun. I love swimming. While an infinitive to plus base form of verb express purpose or necessity. I want to swim. Now, how do you know when to use a gerund or an infinitives? Several verbs always take a gerund. I have given the list in the previous slide. Enjoy, always take gerund. Some always take an infinitive like decide. Some change meaning. If we use, some verbs are used as a gerund and infinitive also, but change meaning. Stop smoking versus stop to smoke. So the meaning is totally changed. So these are the list of few verbs which used as a gerund or infinitive, or few specific word which is used also only as with gerund, and there are few specific words which are used only with an infinitives. Are gerunds noun? Yes. Gerunds act as noun in a sentence. Swimming is my favorite sport when we are using gerund at the beginning of sentence. Can a verb take both a gerund and an infinitive? Yes, some verbs take both gerund and infinitive, but with a change in meaning. I stopped smoking versus I stopped to smoke. The meaning is different. So these verbs are stop, try, remember. Stop, try, remembers, which is used both as a gerund as and an infinitive. Stop, try, remember. So these are the list of few videos which I am going to upload very soon. Split infinitive, types of infinitive based on tenses, use of different adverbs, conjunctive adverbs, infinitive versus prepositional phrases, and different types of phrases again, adjective versus adverbs, preposition, conjunction, tense, subject. So these are the list of the videos which I am going to upload. So don't, if this video is helped you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have a question or need more examples. See you next time.